Hey guys, the four things that I'll talk about today, to be a better significant other, is from personal experience, and this is all from things that I learned from my past relationship that I want to, just put out into the world to see if anyone else needs help and needs advice, and just learn from my mistakes. And I don't want you guys to make those mistakes. And shit, we'll just get right into it. The first one is about gift giving, and maybe as a girl, if there's a girl watching this, you probably understand this, but I'm gonna talk a little bit more to the guys on this one. But gift giving, right? Make like a handmade gift or a thoughtful gift that is might cost only $10 to make is going to be way more impactful in your relationship in a good way than any expensive designer gift or MacBook. Like, there's no comparison, right? And that's one of the things, I messed up, right? Like, you're trying to be like, that cool boyfriend that, everyone wants to be jealous of because, oh, look, they're getting this, they're getting that, they just got a MacBook, they just got a Louis Vuitton thing. And, I kind of fell for that trap, right? I was going out to super nice dinners and stuff, trying to, I was trying to flex. And I realized, my ex had mentioned this as well, but, that doesn't, it's cool, it means a lot, but it's not thoughtful. It's really, you're just buying it because it's expensive, right? You're only giving it to her because of the price of the gift. Instead, if you make like a paper rose flower, these are examples. I went to rave, but I made these, right, for my so I was gonna give it to people, but I ended up keeping it, right? But like making that, right, that's only maybe $1 per to make, theoretically, right? And that's gonna be that kind of gift, or like a paper rose, is gonna be way more impactful in a good way to your relationship, because it's handmade, it's personalized by you, it's not made by anyone else, it's your hard work, your hands, and you spent the time to make that for your girlfriend. If your girlfriend's begging for all these like materialistic things, I don't know. I'm not gonna say anything. It gives a little bit of gold digger vibe, if I'm being honest. But you know, but for people that are trying to make gifts and trying to think, what can I do for a significant other? It doesn't have to be expensive. Honestly, don't even worry about the price, because the price should not be expensive. You go to Michael's and get a bunch of construction paper and make the paper roses, or make a nice little card that you bring to your girlfriend, like a love letter kind of thing, right? Like, the only thing that's expensive about it is your time, potentially, depending on what you're doing. Sometimes I didn't have time, so it's a little harder, but a card that takes 15 minutes max, right? So that's one of the mistakes I made, was I was spending all this money, but she would appreciate the little love letters way more, because it's a loving, right? You're showing your love to her by not wasting your time. Sorry, that's not a good way to say it, but you're spending your time and effort making something, instead of just going to a store spending $800 on I don't know, Louis Vuitton bracelet, right? Like, sure, it's cool, it's Louis Vuitton, but wouldn't it be cooler if it's a one of one, bracelet from you, and she doesn't care about the price, right? Because it's like, oh, it's from my boyfriend, I'm gonna wear it all the time. And that's one thing I wish, and moving forward, that I'm gonna apply to my relationship, is that gift giving. But no, stop with the expensive stuff. Stop trying to flex to other people. Make it meaningful, right? Sure, sometimes clothes and stuff can be more meaningful, but I mean in the sense of cheap things, like these aren't expensive at all. And that's one way to really create longevity in your relationship, is make meaningful gifts. Stop with the expensive stuff. I'm repeating myself now, and I'll move to the second topic, but yeah, stop with the expensive gifts. But two, it's going to be patience, and that's something I struggle with even now. I'm single now, and I've been going to the gym all the time. I'm learning more about myself, of course, and learning self-care and self-love, and patience even for myself. But something I wish I had learned before in my relationship is patience, right? Like, people take things differently, right? Like an argument, let's just say you the audience, you guys are my significant other. We argue, right? You guys might take it more to heart than I do. I might forget in fucking 15 minutes, but you guys might hold on to it, but I can't. But you gotta realize, you gotta step out. I gotta be like, okay, we grew up differently, right? You guys are my significant other, might have been in a more emotional family, right? And I don't, and I just kind of pass it by, and you guys might want to take it to heart. So you gotta realize, okay, they take it more to heart. You gotta show way more love and care for them, and make sure they are 100%. Just because you're 100%, just because you're 100% doesn't mean the relationship is gonna be 100%, because they need to, right? You guys both gotta be good for the relationship to be good, obviously. So you gotta learn patience and make sure the person's okay. They're gonna take longer. It might get frustrating. Trust me, that's where I kind of broke apart, because I would get frustrated so much. And that's one of my biggest regrets, is not being patient with the person. They come from everyone comes from different families, different cultures, different everything. So you gotta realize and be patient with them, right? They're different from you. They're a whole unique one-of-one human being, right? So you have to stop being so self-centered and take yourself out, right? Look for a third eye. Look through her shoes, right? And let's just say we get an argument. I gotta look like as if you guys are looking through me. I gotta look from your perspective. So that's one of the things I wish, I had applied to my relationship, is that patience. And, maybe a lot of the 4 things I'll talk about is very obvious, but, it's one of those things where it's like, it's so obvious that you forget. And I don't know if that made sense. I'm gonna be so honest with you guys, but you guys hopefully get what I'm saying. So hopefully you get what I'm saying. But anyways, the third thing is going to be, try not to stay in the cycle, right? Like, let's just say you guys get to a point, you guys won't have trouble with this, obviously, in the honeymoon phase, but this is once you hit like the 6 months mark, right? Every day you go to our house, or she comes over to your house, and you guys just kind of chill. You guys don't do much, but you guys are in each other's company, so it's nice, might smash here and there, you know what I'm saying? But like, when I'm saying stop the cycle, it's not like, have more intercourse or anything like that, nothing on that level. But if you guys are homebodies, maybe bring a new game over, right? Like a new Uno variation or something. I don't know, like some board game, right? Something to stop that cycle, right? Like, if you guys always do the same thing, but you include a game into it, now it's like, it's something new, right? Now you kind of broke that cycle. Sure, it's such a small little dent, but you're gonna stop that continuous cycle. Because once you kind of get into this cycle of everything kind of being the same thing over and over again, everything's super predictable, you guys start clashing because it gets boring, right? Liven up the relationship. Bring over the board game, or take her to a new food spot. It doesn't have to be expensive, or it can be expensive. Sorry, I cannot speak today. If you guys are balling like that, shit, I'm not yet, but but the biggest thing is just try to do anything. It can be small, it can be big, but try to stop the cycle. Maybe every second Thursday of the month, you guys have something planned, right? That's easy, right? Because then you have something to look forward to, and something new every second Thursday. Now the relationship isn't really that much of a cycle, because sure, it's every second Thursday and there's a cycle to that, but that Thursday you're going to be doing something different from the last Thursday. So now your relationship is not, you guys get what I'm saying, right? Like, it's not going to be the same thing. And that kind of goes into also the 4th point, is remembering the smallest details. Is like, I guess if you've been in a relationship, you understand the smallest details really show how much you love the person, right? And trust me, coming from a person who can't remember anything, that's what I kind of like regret, is not like paying attention more, I guess you could say, or trying to put effort into remembering or anything like that, right? And one of the main things is like, if you can't remember small things, you just don't care to remember them, and that's coming from a person who can't remember anything. When she says something, write it down on a notes app or something. I'm actually creating something for that. But anyways, back to the video is, you gotta write it down right away. No excuses, right? If you really love her, remembering is the best way to show your love. And that kind of goes back to, the third point of stopping a cycle. So let's just say she was like, oh, there's a cool bar, that just opened up, right? Well, write that down. Write down what the bar is. And on that second Thursday of the month, take her to that bar, right? And wow, she only said it one time, but oh my God, you just made her day or her month, because like, oh my God, you're remembering, you're paying attention to her, right? Shit, I need to breathe. I'm talking too fast. But you have to make her feel good. And him as well. This is for girls as well. I'm talking as, I'm saying like from a guy's perspective, but this can all be used as a girl to a guy as well, or girl to girl, or guy to guy. I don't know. It can be used for any significant other, I guess you could say. Remembering is the best way to show your love, and that correlates with the third, obviously. But remember small details. Write it down. Sure, you remember anniversaries, obviously, right? But that's like, you better remember that, But things like, oh, I was feeling spaghetti, I really want to cook sometime. Shit. Surprise her with a bunch of ingredients you guys cook. Spice, level it up. It's not that hard, And that's, those are the things that I wish, I don't want to ramble too much. If you guys made it this far into the video, thank you. But, I hope I could help you guys a lot, through my experiences. Obviously, every video will be getting way better. This is my first one. But, let me know if you guys want to see other topics or anything like that. I'll be coming out with, maybe more in depth on each section and other things as well. But, the things are thoughtful gifts over expensive gifts, patience, stopping the cycle, and remembering. Those 4 things, guys. If you guys nail those 4, like, you will be the best partner they'll ever have, and that almost costs no money. That's the crazy thing. That costs almost no money to do, and you just became the best partner ever. Don't think about money. Think about the effort you put into the relationship, guys. And I really hope that, by making this video, I help some of you guys out there, and I'll keep continuing making videos. And shit, I might, start a TikTok account, for if you guys like short form content as well. I'll start making it on there as well. Let me know if you guys want to see that. And is there any other topics you guys want me to talk about or anything like that? Let me know. And, thank you so much for you guys being here. And I appreciate you guys very much. And I'll see you guys next time.